Hi guys, so there's no climbing today as I'm a bit injured, but I do want to share a lesson with you about how not to be a fat human being. I've learned this over the last couple of weeks by trying a couple of different things with my diet, and only this one thing seems to stick. So I managed to get from just north of 96 kilos to around 92 kilos in 6 weeks by using some very simple maths. Unfortunately, this doesn't come lightly. It does involve you putting a bit of work, but the good thing is there's a game at the end, a game you can play. So I'm not the worst teacher. What's missing? Oh yeah, some B-roll. Why not? Okay guys, so I'm sporting a bit of a tendonitis in my left arm. It's very stiff, it hurts a lot. So it's gonna be no climbing for a little bit. Also, if you look outside, the weather is absolutely appalling. It's depressing. But I mean, that's London for you. I'm probably gonna be the first one to admit that I'm guilty of not counting my calories, eating badly, and literally noticing myself get fat overnight. When I started this journey, I knew that food is going to be like the most important thing that I need to look after. So I started digging down, and I've started reading books, looking at videos, trying to, listen to what everyone has to say about it. There's a lot of controversy when it comes to food in terms of not only what to eat, but when to eat. Do you eat low carb? Do you eat low fat? All sorts of things. What is absolutely true is that everybody is different. And some people will do well on low fat. Some people will do well on low carb. Before I give you any numbers, a little disclaimer. These numbers, they're not a silver bullet. They don't work for anyone. Your body may just be really messed up. You may have been damaging your metabolism for a really long time. And these numbers don't apply to you straight away. You may be incredibly underweight. You may be incredibly overweight. So these are really a rough guide for like a healthy adult. And that's just an assumption that I made from looking at other people's testaments online. So really, you cannot take this as gospel. Okay, so this is you, and you're pretty chubby because let's face it, you love food and you've been eating a lot lately. And you're pretty sad because you'd like to change that. So now let's go back to basics. On the left side, we have all the food that's going into your body, and that makes you happy because you love food, remember? On the right side, the so-called TDEE, which I've mentioned earlier. This is the total daily energy expenditure, which equals the total amount of calories that your body consumes in a day. So on the left side, you have the total number of calories that your body receives, and on the right, total number of calories that your body consumes. Let's call this incoming, or I on the left, and outgoing, or O, on the right. Now, that being said, if your incoming is greater than your outgoing, or if you eat more than you consume, you're in a so-called bulking state, which means you're going to be gaining fat, gaining muscle, you're going to be becoming big. Now, if your incoming is less than your outgoing, then you're going to be in a cutting state, which means you're going to be losing fat, losing muscles alongside, and you're going to become skinny. And finally, if your incoming is the same as your outgoing, it means you're in a maintenance state, which means you're holding yourself in a balanced state. You're not gaining, you're not losing, you're just being a healthy human being. All you have to do is, you guessed it, count your calories. I prepare for you 2 examples. A classic American breakfast that we all love. I'm not American, but I love it anyways. And a massive, massive dinner. Now you're going to tell me how many calories are in each of these. We're going to break it down, and we're going to see if you're right or wrong. My guess is that you're going to be terribly wrong. You ready for the first meal? So we've got eggs, bacon, and pancakes with a couple of tomatoes on the side. It's an American classic, an absolute beast of a meal. You can pause the video if you want to try to guess yourselves how many calories they've got. Okay, let's get into it. So we have 2 eggs, that's 150 calories. We have 3 to 5 tomatoes, which is about 10 to 15 calories. We've got 100 grams of lean bacon, which is 250 calories, and 1 large pancake, which is made up of 1 egg, half a cup of oats, 40 mils of milk, and 1 scoop of protein powder. In total, that's 335 calories, which brings meal 1 to the grand total of 735 calories. Now, for the second meal, we have a very simple, typical high-carb, high-protein meal. It's very filling and delicious. It's rice and pork shoulder with a bit of onion on the side. We need 140 grams of rice, which is about 180 calories, 330 grams of pork, which is 800 calories, and add a bit of onion, which will go up to 1,000 calories. So if we couple everything together, we have just short of 1,800 calories. If you're a healthy adult male, your TDEE is going to be around 2,300 calories. If you want to be in a deficit of a couple hundreds, if you're eating 1,800, that's really good. So if you eat those two really delicious meals, you're still left with a bit of wiggle room. You can still add your veggies. What I'm trying to say here is that you can have really good meals every day and still meet your calorie intake goals. You can even go ahead and drizzle some maple syrup over that pancake. You can add a bit of extra bacon on your pork. The idea is that being in a calorie deficit doesn't have to be restrictive. You can have big, massive dinners and still be losing weight, as long as you don't graze constantly on sweets or chocolates or little things like that during the day, which you shouldn't be having anyways. They're nasty. So on that note, what have we got? We got no grazing, no sodas, and count your calories. All right, peace.